This is a recording to show you how to set up your lead trainer travel. The first document I have are the general procedures. So you can see the first thing you'll need to do is to set up a travel profile within the ExecTravel website. And this just talks about the different steps you want to keep in mind. So you'll read through this. I'll get this document to you. Make sure you read through it. And of course, select your flights based on the arrival time, departure times, etc. Lowest available fare, all of that are really important. Select the hotel, make sure it's close to the training site, reasonable cost, all of that. Now, I never book my travel through ExecTravel. I only book my flight through ExecTravel because I can often find better pricing and different things like that if I go through if I just go find hotels on my own. Same with rental cars. So once you figure out your travel, then you'll take a screenshot of that. So we're down here, and you take a screenshot of that. That's called your proposed itinerary or preferred travel. And when you have that screenshot, and I always save it like the name of my trip. Like, so if I was going to Louisiana on May 1st, I would put Baton Rouge, May 1st, preferred travel. That'd be the name of that document. And then my travel approval form that I send, I would call that Baton Rouge, May 1st travel approval form. And you get those to Ron and Lee. Then Lee will approve your travel. Then you actually go in and book your travel. So you can see the different steps there. Now I'm going to go ahead and take you through what it would look like if you're going to go ahead and do your travel planning. And the first document we're going to look at is one called, look at our travel form. So this is the blank travel form. So you'll fill that out once you get the idea of what flight you want. And then here's an example of the screenshot of a preferred flight. So you see I've gone in, I found the flight I wanted, I did a screenshot, and then I would send this in. So you can see how I named it at the top so I know what trip it's for. So then I would send in the travel approval form completed along with this information to get my travel approved. So in doing these, I'm going to go and show you how to do this. So here's ExecTravel, and the first thing you do, and I'm actually going through, let's see, which document is it? I'm going through this document. This is about a 6-page document. So you've already set up your travel profile, and then you can log in to ExecTravel and do all of this. So I'm just running through this. You'll see how it works. Now this document talks about booking the hotel and the rental car. Again, I don't do that through the ExecTravel. I do that on my own. I just book my flights through ExecTravel. So let's jump in and see what this looks like. So here I am. So I'm not going to book an online reservation at this point, but I do have to go in here and act like I am so I can get the exact pricing and everything. So I'm just logging in with my account, and you'll log in with the one that you have. Then once I get logged in, and I'm ready to go, and I'm going to take off the car and the hotel. I just want to book my flight. So let's say I'm going to be booking the, I'll just go ahead and do a sample one since most of you are going to be from Houston on May 1st. So Houston, May 1st, and maybe you've worked out you're going to leave after lunch that day. And you're going into Dulles, returning on May 4th. Returning on May 4th, and as we've said, you're going to leave like 2 o'clock at the earliest on May 4th. So, no preference on airline or anything like that. So that's all set up, ready to go. Now I do the search. And as this goes through, of course, it'll search based on the parameters that I gave. So here I have a bunch of flights. So I'm going to go down, and let's say I'm going to go ahead and hit departure to get this, the departure times all lined up. So, and for some reason, I told it what time I wanted. So I'll go right in here and adjust that a little bit. Now it'll fix that search. So here we are. So there's 145 flight, gets in at 7:18 to DC. That's not bad. But I think there's like a direct flight I saw somewhere when I did a little search earlier. Well, I can't seem to find it now. Here's a direct flight. This is pretty good right here. 3:48, so that's when it would leave. Get into Dulles about 7:49. So I'm going to go ahead and hit select on that. So that's my outbound, getting to DC. Then heading home, of course, we're going to do, let's say earliest. I'll just do 1 o'clock earliest. And then departure, wow, look at that, 5 o'clock, oh no, that'd be a first direct, so there's a 5 o'clock to 7:30. If I go ahead and hit departure, rearrange those, so that was a direct one, but you can see there are a few with some connections right there. 1:30, there's a 3 o'clock, get you in at about 7 o'clock Saturday evening, going through Atlanta. Whether you want to do that or not, it's up to you, obviously. So you can see the different ones there. I'm going to go ahead and choose this 5 o'clock one to 7:30. And I'll hit select. So now I've chosen my inbound and outbound. Then I get the screen showing that flight. And what this does is it gives, there's the whole cost for this flight, but it gives me some lower cost options. Now this isn't too bad. You still, if these times would fit in for you. So you can look at the lower cost options if you want to, but I'm just going to go ahead and show you. So now that I've returned this, so here's what's going to be my preferred flight. So I'm going to go ahead and do Control Print Screen on my keyboard. Then I'll take that preferred flight, go to blank document. Get a blank one here. Hit enter a couple times, paste that in. So then I'd go ahead and put, Harrison, flight May 1, Ashburn, something like that. Then I'd go ahead and save it. So now I have this, and I know it's, 588. So now that I have this information, then I can go to the blank travel approval form, and I would start filling in this information. So today is March 25. I'd fill in all of this information, purpose of travel. Now that would be the trainer session, destination Ashburn. So I'd fill in all of this, dates and all that. Airline ticket was what, 533, I think, or something like that. Car rental, you're not going to need one for this trip, but if you're going to be out doing travel, you would have estimated your car rental. You put that here, estimated your hotel, put that here. And then you also need to fill in these things, your closest airports and the approximate mileage from your home. So you fill this travel approval form out, then I would do File, Save As, and I would save this similar to the name that I did on this preferred travel one, keeping them the same name. And then I would get those things to Lee and to Ron. So that's the first step. So then once Lee approves it, then you go back into, you log back into this, to ExecTravel. That'd be a couple of days later after Lee approves it. Once you log into ExecTravel, then you go in and do the same searches that we did before. So you'll end up getting to this place generally. Then you go ahead and hit select. And now you got to go through the process of actually booking this flight. So you could go ahead and choose your seats. For our purposes, I'm just going to skip the seat selection. So you do all of that. Then you go in and fill out this information. So traveler information, you fill in all of your information. So of course your name will be here. Fill out all of this information. Billing information. Again, we're going to see if we can use the corporate card. or a JSON visa. But if you can't, then hit temporary, and you might have to use your own cards. Then you'd fill in your own credit card information here. Now, if you are going to use the corporate card, if we're going to get the approval to do those, then you would just choose those. Delivery information, you go to that. Change all this to your own personal information. So I would change this to where I live in Grand Junction, Colorado. And I would fill in the city, state, and my own phone number. So I'd fill all of that in. Company information. Now here you'll have a code for these three boxes, and this code you'll find on the booking travel document. And we're just going right through these steps. So we've done all of this, haven't we? So now if I go down through this, of course, the hotel and the rental car, I said you don't have to worry about doing that. Through ExecTravel, you don't do that. And as I move down here, here's all the traveler information, the delivery address, hotel billing. And here are the codes. The expense is 71225, Project 50, Department 101. So I have those codes. So if I go back to ExecTravel, right here would be 71225, 50, and 101. So we'd use those codes unless something changes later on. I don't worry about these things. I can look at additional information. So as far as the copy, we don't want to send this to we want to send this to Lee. So I want to send that to Lee Charlton. And then all the other information is there. And the last thing you do is you hit purchase trip. I'm not going to do that, obviously, but that's how you work through this. And then they'll go ahead and book the trip for you, and then you'll get a confirmation email. So again, that's everything that you need to go through on this. You'll on this booking travel, so you'll finish up all of that. Ticket acceptance, and then you'll get an email from Larry or Ann or somebody at ExecTravel saying that your flight has been booked, and then you're all ready to go. But the main thing to think about is you have a couple of steps here. The first step is getting the estimate on the travel and getting your screenshot of your preferred and your travel approval form, filling that out ahead of time, getting that to Lee for approval. Then once you get that stuff approved, then you go through the real booking process through ExecTravel using that code that I showed you, the 71225, 50, 101, etc., to fill out that information. So those are the steps to get all the travel done after you have set up your personal travel profile. So I want to make sure you get that set up first. Hey, thanks for watching, and hopefully this will help you go through all these steps to get your travel lined out. Bye.